Let me know. One. Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Dr. Dietrich Gorman, America's Relaxation Doctor, and I'm here with another episode of Relax Well with Dr. Dietrich. So, y'all know monthly I have a special guest who is amazing in their own right, and tonight is no different. Okay, my guest is spectacular. And so you know what you need to do. You need to tag people to come on in and look at this live stream. You need to share it. You need to, invite your friends to come watch it. And of course, if you're kind enough to be watching this on the replay, when you do watch, please put hashtag replay in the comments. And also, put in the comments if you're doing anything special this summer, any vacations or anything special. So we know that summertime is quickly approaching. The end of the school year is next month, and that's when family vacations start. And so, I mean, road trips, water parks, amusement parks, all that stuff, hotels, flights, But as all of y'all are aware, we're not in the same environment that we used to be a couple years ago, right? And so we know we have this corona present, which is why I am so happy to have tonight's guest. So, guess who I have? She's right here. Okay. I have an amazing double duty position tonight on Relax Well with Dr. Dietrich. Okay. Y'all didn't know I was pulling out all the stops, but I'm pulling them all out. Okay. So I have an emergency medicine physician, Dr. Yvette McQueen, who is also known as the travel doctor. Woohoo! Yes, I said it. Emergency medicine and a travel doctor. I mean, that's a great combo. A combo. Y'all got to give that to me, right? And Dr. McQueen, she is a best-selling author. She's a speaker, a blogger, a consultant, CPR and first aid instructor. Y'all know every household needs to know CPR. Okay, she's a wilderness emergency care trainer and international teacher for the American Heart Association. So please be happy with for me and with me as we welcome Dr. Yvette McQueen. Thank you very much, Dr. Yvette. Woohoo! Thank you for
Hello,
being here.
good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to come to your stage.
Thank you, thank you. So I did a brief introduction of yourself, but if you don't mind, just kindly tell the audience a little bit more about yourself or what brought you to travel medicine.
Okay, so like she said, Yvette McQueen, MD, emergency physician, travel doctor, and wellness lifestyle coach, a global physician on a mission to educate about health, travel wellness, and disease prevention. So I assist travelers like you and professionals, executives, frequent flyers to stay healthy and safe while they're traveling with my travel medicine concierge practice. So you can like dial me up, Wi-Fi me up while you're traveling, particularly international, and I can answer your health problems, get you to the right hospital, English-speaking hospitals, and let you know what foreign medicine you should get. And I also, like she said, best-selling book, Travelpedia, and other things. So why am I the travel doctor? So I love medicine and I love traveling. And my first international trip was when I was 14 years old. I went to West Germany, so I'm dating myself. West Germany at
Wow.
15 years old to visit a pen pal because we wrote letters back and forth back then. And I went solo and I loved it. And I had the bug. And one of my favorite pastimes is going to the airport and watching planes take off. So last year I was a little bit under the weather because I couldn't travel. So I'm just doing what I love and mixing the two.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. So let me just say hello to a couple of folks that are coming on. I see Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you. Nice to see you. And Kasali. So y'all let other folks know that we here. Share this live stream because there's some great information tonight. So before we get started, y'all can put y'all's questions in the chat about any travel questions you'll have, safety, all that stuff, because I want to try and keep this show at least 30 minutes, about 30 minutes, because I don't want to be a long show. So put your questions in the comments now. So there's so many things that you can do in the summer. There's a lot of activity going on in the summer, but you really don't want to get stressed about it. Okay. The summer is typically for relaxation, having a good time, spending time with your families. And one of the best ways to decrease that stress and truly, truly enjoy your vacation, your breaks, and your summer, your travel is to prepare and to be aware. Okay. And so in the face of COVID, I want y'all to take away some of the stress, not only involved with the stress in travel in general, but some of that COVID stress, that's going to be happening. And so I want to just go ahead and dive right on into it. And again, put y'all's question in the comment. And hey, Nancy, thanks for joining. So I know, Dr. Yvette, I know there's like a more of a recent update as far as like, I guess travel being out and about and mask use. There's been some new things that have just kind of erupted right now. And can you tell us a little bit about what the most current update is and what your thoughts are about it?
Okay, so the most current updates, particularly if you're vaccinated. So once we know that there's three vaccines in the United States, the Moderna, the Pfizer, and the Johnson & Johnson. And they say you are considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after your last shot. So they're saying, first of all, vaccinated people can hang out with vaccinated people without wearing a mask, particularly if they know them, they trust them. They can either have small indoor gatherings together, believe it or not, eat together, vaccinated with vaccinated people. So that's what they say when you travel now. If you're vaccinated, of course, you have to wear your mask on the plane and other places because that's the federal law, but you don't no longer have to quarantine. So before, there's like when you go somewhere and come back, you need to quarantine. Now there's still internationally, if you're traveling internationally and you're coming back to the United States, you still need to get a COVID-19 test. That's either PCR or antigen test before you enter back into the United States if you're going internationally. When she said talk about planning, if you're planning to do something international, look for your extra destinations that you're going to, because some destinations require you to have a COVID-19 test or a PCR test to actually land, like Jamaica or, any of the Caribbean islands, even the U.S. Virgin Island, like St. Thomas, St. Croix, you have to have a PCR negative COVID test within 72 hours. But then there's other countries like Costa Rica that says we don't care, but you got to have the test to come back into the United States. They just opened up 2 days ago, Europe. So Europe is starting to open it up. Their numbers are starting to go down, but they're saying that you have to be vaccinated. They don't have the kinks worked out, and I know people have thrown out the word vaccinated passport, but you might just need to show your card, which is nothing new because there's a lot of countries in Africa you had to have yellow fever to go to. So when we got there, we would have to show a passport and our yellow fever vaccination. So that's not anything new in the scope of international traveling.
Oh, so I'm glad you said that. Do you think it's going to get to a point where to travel that you will have to prove that you are vaccinated for COVID? Period. I mean, just really.
Yes, because they don't want you bringing into their country, especially if they got their numbers down. That's like, Australia and New Zealand. They had, New Zealand didn't let people just start letting Australia in, about a month ago without quarantine, because before, if you went there, you had to quarantine for 14 days before you can go up out and about. Now they say they have their little bubble, they can go back and forth between New Zealand and Australia finally without quarantine. Particularly, and if you're vaccinated, you don't have to be, but they don't have that many vaccinations. They're not as high there right now. They're still waiting for more vaccinations there. But yes, it's going to be a requirement because people don't want you to bring it into their country. They're just like, they need to guarantee that you're not spreading it internationally.
I wonder when they're gonna start doing that. I don't know if you heard about it. Just maybe soon.
Oh well, some countries have it. I know, like the Maldives. I belong to the Maldives. If you go there, you show your vaccinated card, you don't have to
Okay.
quarantine. So
Okay.
yeah, some countries have already started doing it.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's great information. And I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit. I mean, still kind of staying with that topic to see how that will play a role in these like family vacations and whatnot. I know a big theme in the summer is like the families get on road trips, or they go to like amusement parks or water parks and stuff like that. And I know all that stuff has really not been in play, but the summer is getting ready to open up in this travel. And so I would love for you to just share with the listeners, any tidbits or helpful tidbits that a family can do to be safer if they choose to go to, any of these, open places, amusement parks, water parks, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. So a lot of the parks have limited amount. So once again, the summer is going to be all about planning ahead. So if you want to go to the parks, the water parks, you need to. And I'm not sure if the water parks are going to be open, but I know Disney World is, and Universal Studio is. So you have to plan ahead. You have to get your tickets ahead. Some of them are just giving it to season pass um, ticket holders only. But they only let so many people in the park at one time, that you have to wear your mask at all times. You can not wear your mask when you're eating and drinking, but you can't walk around and eat like you used to because they stopped that. I haven't been, but I heard they have signs like on some rides, like "Don't yell." Really?
Oh, really? Okay.
Like,
Well,
yelling spreads disease. They're like, really? Don't
yeah.
yell when I'm going down 100 feet. Really? Uh, so you need to plan ahead. Of course, you need to plan your lodging ahead. So if families wants to get in their car, road trip, and I tell people, of course, a road trip, make sure your car is maintenance, tires, battery, oil check. Make sure you have that. Make sure you have enough fruit. Snacks in your car. Fruit's a good one, good nutritious. But a water. Make sure you have water in your car. You should have at least 2 bottles for a person per hour. Believe it or not, if you're traveling in your car, just in case you get stopped. If your car stops for some reason, it's always good to have like a bright cloth, yellow, red, orange, white, to signal that you need help. Everyone should have if you're on the road with your car, you should have some type of car service. AAA, American Express gives one. There's different road car services there are. You should plan ahead for your hotels, because the hotels are still limited in capacity. They're increasing, but they're still limited in capacity. So if they say they're sold out and they see empty rooms, that's because they don't want that many people there. But the hotels are doing a good job as far as cleaning their rooms. They use a hospital grade cleaner. I walked in one day and I was like, bleach. Oh, I love it.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
And they put a little sticker on the door to let you know no one's entered since it was clean. So they don't have buffets, but they do usually have their dinner service.
Oh, okay. So, like when we're in the road trip, and they'll sometimes we be on those long trips that break you off. You're gonna have to go to the restroom eventually. Um, are there any precautions that we need to take? When like going to the public restrooms, more so not that we normally would do. When we're traveling.
I mean, other than big gatherings. So,
Mhm.
I actually road trip during the pandemic. Before I start flying again, I had to go from Atlanta to DC, and I got in my car and went. And that was during the pandemic. It was like I packed my food, packed my water, stop for gas. That was it. But now, you can stop at the rest areas, wear your mask. Just if you walk in and there's a line and a lot of people in, you probably want to wait outside for it. That's all I really say. I mean, but just other normal hygiene things you do, wash your hands. Don't be dirty, wash your hands. Um,
So listen, what do you think about this? I'll admit, this is what I do. I have some of my gloves, my gloves, and then the wet wipes. And as soon as I walk in, I got my glove on. I wipe the seat, then dry it, because they don't always have the paper what is it called, those paper things there,
Yeah.
and I do that. So I've
Oh,
always done that, and so I just feel like I have to do
yeah.
it.
Whatever hygiene practice you want to take. I guess I was always never taught to sit on the seat.
Yeah, I know. You try, I know, but yeah.
Although they've done studies that public toilet seats is less dirtier than people's phone. Yeah,
Really? Oh, I never knew that one.
yeah. So
Yeah, I never knew
I just
that.
say you do your usual, and if I go into like if I go into a store and there's too many people, I just turn around and walk away. I mean, even though you mask on and I'm vaccinated, I don't know if they're vaccinated. And just because you're vaccinated does not mean you won't get COVID. It just means you won't get less severe and it's in less chance of dying. And I think there's like 99% less risk. Okay. But there's always that
Okay.
1%. Don't want to be that 1%. But so if there's a big crowd, I just turn around and go away or wait. Or if I
Yeah.
order the food and there's a lot of people waiting, I, call them up and they're still taking food out to the cars. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
what, yeah. So
Those
that's
drop
what I
off.
do on my road trips. Also,
Okay.
families think about national parks. The national
Yes.
parks was big last year, and it's still going to be big this year. If you're going to go to more than two national parks, I would suggest getting a pass because it's more saving. The people is usually free for senior citizens and is free for military. You can also use your AAA or your AARP card, 50 and older, yay, uh,
Uh-huh.
to get discounts. But if you're using an RV, if you go RVing and doing that, make sure you make your reservation ahead of time because those slots, some of them, people have told me they're already like booked up, particularly in July and August. So make sure you're because you know what? Let me tell you about the children. Children are doing virtual, and a
Hmm.
lot of them not getting out to the end of June because of the schedule, and then they have to go back in August. But if they're doing virtual, they're just throwing the kids in the car and say, "Let's go." Since you're doing virtual, you can do it while we're on vacation.
Oh, right, right. Yep. Okay. So what about I know I mentioned water parks, and I do know like in Texas they have opened up a couple, so I don't know what their rules and stuff are. But what about like people who live on the coast or the lake and the beach? Is it again just as far as like crowds and whatnot? Just go have a good time, but just don't be around a whole bunch of folks. Because you know when you at the beach, I mean people are not gonna really be wearing no mask at the beach. So
Well,
have you,
I guess it depends on which beach you're at. There's different
okay.
beaches because we know what happened at my South Beach in Miami during spring break. They just went overcrowded, not wearing a mask, and they had to shut the stuff down.
Mhm.
Riots, shut it down. So I guess it depends on what beach you're going to. I would say try to stick to a family oriented beach. There's a lot of beaches around that, or even try something different this year. Everybody wants to flock to Florida. I have nothing against Florida. Used to live there. But this United States has like coasts all over. I mean, there's Austin, or was it Austin, Galveston? I mean, there's all up and down North Carolina and South Carolina. Up north, between the Long Island and New Jersey coast, Maine. I mean, there's lots of beaches you can go to, or even like you said, even lakes. Out in the Southwest they have all those lakes in Montana and Wyoming and maybe this is a time to try something different. The pandemic has pushed us other than everybody just flocking to, the normal beaches that we normal do. But I mean, I say try to go to more family oriented beaches. And you see some people. Actually, I have some friends. They live around Hilton Head. They go out early in the morning and map out.
Mhm.
They put the
Mhm.
chairs and towels out and map out their space. And as long as it's there, no one bothers them.
Oh, okay. All right. Y'all make sure y'all put any questions you may have in the chat. I see Dr. Carol has joined us. Thank you very much. She said this is great information. Great, great, great. So I did forget to ask you in the beginning. Just tell the audience, what does Dr. Yvette like to do to relax?
um,
Let me guess.
what's your guess?
You like to travel?
Well, that's a big concept because some
Yeah.
people find travel stressful. Yes, I like to hop on a plane. Planes, I'm serious. I like to be on a plane. I really do. I was really deficient last year when I couldn't fly, and I would go out to the Atlanta airport and watch the flights take off, the little flights they had. If I'm just sitting at home, what I would like to relax, and believe it or not, my guilty pleasure is a good romance novel or
Oh.
Hallmark movie. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I'm a
Okay.
romantic. It always has a good ending.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Good information. Okay. So let me ask you this. Just, just reaching from your memory, what do you think are, like, if you can put to a list, like the top five um things that a family or an individual can have to help mitigate any stress that they may have when going on a trip? What are, like, the five best things they can do or have, or whatnot, to decrease their stress for summer travel?
Okay.
Mhm.
So number one is plan. And I said that so much.
Yeah.
You don't know, and I can be a procrastinator myself, but it is
Mhm.
planning. It's planning ahead, having a system. And I don't mean planning out your whole vacation where you have
Mhm.
every hour of the day planned, because that's not a vacation. You just plan ahead about, this is the things as we're going, this is the hotel, this is that. And alternatives, if something happened, there's going to be a plan B so that you don't fall into the chaotic, stressful situation if something doesn't occur. Two, I tell people as they're planning their trip, like usually this is what I do a week before I plan. I go, either except for work because that's just scrubs.
Mhm.
um, I open a suitcase and just start tossing things in. So if I'm going like, oh, I know I'm going to the beach. Put my flip flops or my swim shoes in. Wear your swim shoes; they will help you this summer. Um,
Mhm.
I'll go, oh yeah, let me not forget the mosquito repellent. I'll throw it in there. Just so, and so then the day before or the night before, when I'm like, most of the things that you sometimes forget, I threw them in a suitcase already and they're there. And then I started to organize.
Okay.
Um, Medical travel insurance. I'm going to tell you, particularly if you're traveling internationally. Now in the United States, you, you can go to your nearest emergency department, hospital, get treatment with your healthcare insurance. And you should always take a medical kit with you, a first aid kit with you, whether it's in the car or in your backpack. They make different sizes. If you're traveling internationally, I would suggest you getting the medical travel insurance, not just the regular travel insurance, but the medical travel insurance, that if something, you should get sick, hurt, fall off an ATV, any of that, that hospital, you have insurance where the hospital will take care of you. Because international hospitals do not have to take your insurance. They don't take Blue Cross, Aetna, Medicare, none of that. They take credit cards. Credit cards. So
Oh.
that's what medical travel insurance help you. Because I had a friend, she was in, I think, Zambia, whitewater rafting, broke her leg. She had to be flown from Zambia to South Africa and then back to the United States. But her medical travel insurance covered everything for her. Yes.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say it did, and I'm like, oh
No, it
no.
did. It
Oh,
did because
good.
she travels internationally. You travel
Uh-huh.
internationally, you travel more than two international trips. You just get an annual plan because it pays off so much
Oh,
better.
okay.
So that's what you need to think in situations like that.
Okay.
That was
And
just
what's
three.
uh-huh. Okay. Um, let's
Oh,
see.
Carol,
So,
Carol has a question
yeah,
here.
I was gonna say, Dr. Carol has a great question. With summer camps opening up, How should parents be preparing their children to maximize safety? Great question. And thanks, Patrick, for joining and Flora for joining.
Okay, so for summer camp and children, and yes, last year there were some summer camps and but not a lot. So it's more this year. A lot of children have gone back to school, and they said school age children, usually 12 and under, it's been safe for them to cohabitate, basically, wearing a mask. Um, One of the things that my great friend, Dr. Alexia, infectious disease doctor, says, if you send your child to summer camp, make sure they are in cohorts together, that it be 10, whether it's 8 or 10, they always stay together. They sleep together, they eat together, they do activities together, they play together. They're not intermingling with the rest of the camp. That's way, if something happens, you can do good contact tracing. So just
Oh,
find out how the camp works. Are they having separate cohorts? Are they having all 1,200 children play together? What are their hygiene practices? Are they having more hand washing stations, more sanitizing stations? What are the eating habits there? And their counselors. And I guess one of the great things now is are the counselors going to be vaccinated?
okay. Okay, great thoughts. Okay, excellent, excellent. And I guess one final thing that came to my mind too, along the same lines, I know you mentioned about national parks, but what about like the community parks that are out there? A lot of people just like to go to the park and just, walk around and let the kitties just play around and stuff like that. Do you think that's changed a lot, or do you think it's gonna go back to, or it never really left, where they're gonna let the kids loose in the park and start playing, just the same principles apply, have the kiddies wear their mask, because like those jungle gyms, those kids just be kind of all over everywhere, swinging and just running around and doing all that stuff. So do you have any thoughts or suggestions with that? Just don't go, or just go and keep it moving, or
I
because
think
kids
it's going
aren't
to be
vaccinated yet.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's going to be dependent on your city, because some of the cities are still haven't opened those parks. Other cities have opened them up, and other ones still have them like roped off. I would say your kids need open air, so let them go run. If they're not around other people, yes, don't wear a mask, of course. If you're, and that's how people have their bubbles, like, neighbors. If they play with the neighbor kid, it's okay for the neighbor kid for them to play together, like outside. Um, that's going to be, once again, people you trust. If you could trust them and their behavior when you don't see them, then I say go for it. Particularly, once again, if you're vaccinated and they're vaccinated, they're now saying you outside, you don't have to wear masks together. If, like I said, do you trust them? I don't know about the pools. I don't know about the public pools too. That's going to be another thing, because COVID in water hasn't been shown that it transmitted in water. It's been
Okay.
transmitted by air. But some communities I've seen, they started open, and around Atlanta, there's a couple counties that did open their public pools, but I haven't heard much from it. And then there's other cities that's like, no, it's going to remain closed. So
Okay.
that's what. So it's up to you. I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you about parks and pools. I would say if you want to go when a lot of people aren't going. Early in the
Mm,
morning, early in the morning.
okay.
Go when there's not a lot of people, and then when you start to see the crowd, be like, okay, peace. I did my hour. Bye.
Okay, okay. So Dr. Carroll has thank you, Marcia, for that question. Thank you. Dr. Carroll, for those who are volunteering at vaccination sites, what PPE and other precautions are you recommending?
Well, I would recommend everything that I would do at work. And you got to remember, I am an emergency physician. I work in the emergency room. So there's a lot of times that even though we test them outside and they say, no, I haven't been exposed, people come in and then you find they have been, because I'm sorry, people do lie. Um, I wear a double mask. I wear N95, and then I wear another cloth mask over on top of it. And I wear that when I fly too. I'm gonna tell you that I do wear
Mhm.
that fly. If you're gonna be doing anything that would deal with needles or anything you would think get splashed, I would say put a splash guard on, a head splash guard. I wear my glasses, but sometimes I do wear goggles over the glasses because I
Okay.
found out the head thing. Oh, it gives me with the band, it gives me a headache. But I wear goggles that have side goggles over my glasses. So that's the PPU. They still, some people are still wearing the contact with the gown. But like I said, unless you're going to be dealing with a lot of blood and people spitting and coughing in your face, just a regular vaccination site, I would just double mask.
Okay, excellent, excellent. This is some great information. I know we're getting ready to wrap up the show. We're at 30 minutes, so we did a great job, right? This was such
Hey,
a great show, Dr. Yvette, and thank you very much for joining me.
you're
I don't
welcome.
see any more questions, and thanks for who y'all were staying tuned for joining. So, please tell the viewers how they can follow you and get a hold of you.
Okay, so I'm pretty easy. It's my name that you see on there, Yvette McQueen MD. So I am on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube as Yvette McQueen MD. Instagram followers, if you're on Instagram, I am Dr. Travel 911. That's who I am. My website is YvetteMcQueenMD.com.
Okay, excellent, excellent. And so, I'm just saying, it would seem befitting that with you being a travel doctor and all that stuff and all that great stuff, you should have some type of publication or a book that would help us travel more safely and healthily and all
Of
that stuff.
course.
Do you have anything like that?
I do, of course. So, my original book is called Travelpedia. See, like encyclopedia, but Travelpedia.
Nice.
Travelpedia, a guide of how to travel safely, efficiently, healthy, and safely. So it actually can get you from, if you don't travel, it gets you from the couch to your travel. It tells you about passport, traveling with toddlers, other things like jet lag, international eating, things like that. Is very helpful. My new publication that my publisher is not listening, so that's a good thing. But my new publication is Travel 911, a health guide for adventurers. It digs a little deeper back into some of the health problems, but also like if you're a hiker, it gives you a first aid thing that what happens if you twist your ankle, what can you do? High altitude sickness, diving things to prevent
Oh,
it, and treatment until you can see a medical or when you need to see a medical professional. So you can actually get that at Travel 911 book. It's going to be out late May. Travel911book.com. You can pre-order it.
is it with the numbers
Yep.
911book.com? I just put it in the chat. Let's see if
Yep.
it'll show up. Well,
There it is.
there we go.
Yep.
That looks
There you go.
good.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good. Yeah.
excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Yvette. So as for me, I actually have a very special Mother's Day gift out there. I want y'all to go to gratefulformama.com. And
Ooh.
in this special, I have my signed journal, my Grateful and Ready journal. Okay. Plus, you can have the choice of getting my lavender essential oil or my
Ooh.
Grateful and Ready footies. Those are
Oh.
bonuses. Bonuses. Grateful and
Oh.
Ready. Okay. Also, you will get a Mother's Day card. You will get some stationery where you can actually write to your mom or your mother figure exactly you feel about her and how grateful you are to have her in your life. And then also my Grateful and Ready pen. All those are bonuses for the price of my journal. So please go to gratefulformama.com to take advantage of
Oh,
that.
I want those spots. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. So I think that's it for everybody here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to talk about how we can, have a great summer. All we need to do is prepare and plan and, take those special precautions so that we won't catch anything we don't need to catch, except good vibes. And so thank you everybody for watching me, Dr. Dietrich. I am America's Relaxation Doctor, and I'll be here next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for another episode of Relax Well. Y'all have a good evening and please be safe out there. And thanks again, Dr. Yvette, and thanks for all my listeners. Okay, bye.